All right, my IGCSE students are back, and we are looking at recurring decimals now. Now, I want to quickly show you we're continuing through our chapters to make sure we know everything in every page and every part of the syllabus, and we want to keep it short, but we want to make sure that we cover all the main important things and make sure we have mastered them. So, what we are doing today is a part in E 1.4. If you see what E 1.4 says, it says you must be able to understand the notation, blah, 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 and all the way to recurring decimal notation. So, we've been talking about fractions and talking about how to convert from decimals to fractions, fractions to decimals. Today we are focusing on what we call recurring decimals. That's what we're focusing on in this lesson, not just today, but in this lesson we're focusing on recurring decimals. So in the next few videos, I'm going to be covering recurring decimals and showing you why I have felt it's important for you to know recurring decimals, because in every paper too this topic comes. So I'm going to show you. I have the past paper questions at the bottom, so we'll keep going until we get to the past paper questions. And of course I'm going to leave some of them as a worksheet for you to do. Make sure you check the worksheet below the video and you do the videos. So let's quickly talk about the recurring decimals. So today you have seen that we are talking about syllabus point 1.4, E 1.4, and it's on recurring decimal notation and how we can convert between recurring decimals and fractions. So we're going to learn how to, in other words, to write 0.17 as a fraction, recurring as a fraction. So let's find out what that is, what a recurring decimal is, and why we actually need to focus on it. All right. So let me tell you like this. You have a decimal number is a number that has a comma. So you know that, students, that a decimal number is a number that has a comma. So when we're dealing with decimal numbers in maths, they're going to give us a number with digits after the comma. So if it's a decimal number, we expect to see something after the comma. 1.57. This is a decimal number. 1.993586 or 76, whatever. This is a decimal number because it has a digit after the comma. Even if you say 1.05 or whatever, as long as we have digits after the comma, we call it a decimal number. So it's a decimal. Why is it a decimal? Because it has digits after the comma. Now, we have two types of decimal numbers. Here, I've put it here. These decimal numbers, numbers with digits after the comma, they come in two types. One is called a terminating decimal. A terminating decimal is the easy one, the one we have talked about so many times. It's one where the decimals eventually end. So the digits after the comma eventually end. They don't go on forever. If they don't go on forever, if they end, then we call it a terminating decimal. And a terminating decimal, if you want to convert it to a fraction, let's zero. Here are examples they've given you: 0.5, 0.25, 0.375. Let's see how I would convert them to fractions. Okay, let's see how I would convert a terminating decimal to a fraction. Let me quickly do it. So we have 0.5. Then we're going to have 0.25. Then we're going to have 0.375. We want to convert this to a fraction. What would we do? We need to know the rules. So I'm going to tell you the rules, and don't forget the rules. I've talked about them before, but I'm going to talk about them again right now. What you do when you have this simple version of a decimal, a terminating decimal, is you put place values. Okay? You put place values after the comma. You put place values. The whole numbers that will be here are whole numbers, so you don't put them on fractions. But this one here is the one you're going to check. So what are you going to do? You take this number, you put place values first. A place value, this here is, we know that we have, if I put 375.219, this becomes hundreds, tens, units. Well, I'm not interested in these ones because they come before the comma. I'm not interested in them. I look after the comma, the place values after the comma. Those are the ones I want. This is tenths. These are hundreds. These are thousands. These are hundreds of thousands. Like this. So it's tenths, then hundreds, then thousandths. Like this. Thousands. Not thousands. thousandths. So there we go. We have tenths, we have hundredths, we have thousandths. So we put place values. That's the first thing you do. So let's come to it. We want to convert 0.5 to a fraction. We put place values. This is tenths. Now what you do is you are now going to write it as a fraction. And when you write it as a fraction, you put the digits you have. Here we only have 5. The digits after the comma. So we only have 5 here. And you put it after the last place value. Here, what is the last place value? Tenths. So we put it over 10. So 5 over 10 will lead you to 0.5. What about 0.25 as a fraction? What would 0.25 as a fraction be? Well, put place values. It's a terminating decimal. So follow rules, mathematician. Come on, you can do this. So what do you put? Place values. This is tenths. This is hundredths, right? So you have tenths, you have hundredths. Now you're going to put it as a fraction. And when you put it as a fraction, you look at the last place value, which is hundredths, right? So that means we're going to put 25, the whole thing, 25, over what is the last place value? 100. So we put it over 100. If you reduce 25 over 100, you're going to get 0.25. Now you're going to have 0.375. You look at it, you say, the decimals end, they finish. So this is a terminating decimal. So I need to put place values. These are tenths, these are hundredths, these are thousandths. So if I'm to put it, it would be 375 over 1,000. Then we just simplify. This is what you do. I think this is not hard. This is not hard. So this is what we do for terminating decimals. But we are not interested in this. This is not the lesson. Because these are not the past paper questions that we want to do. The past paper questions that we want to do here, let me go to them. Look at this. They're in every single paper, starting from 2025 May 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 2. All this, they all have it. If you look at this, this is 4 marks. This is worth 4 marks. And it's in February, March 2025. Paper 2. Here, look at this one. Recurring decimal as a fraction. And it is in May, June 2025. I've put May 2025 going backwards. So a lot of them are 2025, February, March, May, June, October, November, moving through 2025. But this is a common question, so we are expecting it. And when it comes, we are ready for it. So that is why we're covering right now and make sure that we are having it as a video. So what we have right now is we're going to be starting the recurring decimals, numbers with a dot on top of them. We want to see, because the only way you're going to add is to first convert this guy to a fraction. So the only skill you have to know about these recurring decimals is to convert them to fractions. Then you're going to know how to do anything else. So I don't care what question they give you. The first thing you always do with these type of numbers, recurring decimals, is to convert them to a fraction. Now we're going to see how to do it in the next video. So we start in the next video. Goodbye for now.